Okay, so today we're diving into something you might not think about every day, but the numbers are, well, frankly fascinating. We're talking about the global toilet seat heater market.
It sounds niche, doesn't it? But wait till you see the scale.
Exactly. We're using the Global Toilet Seat Heater Market Report 2025-2033 from Cognitive Market Research. And our mission today, let's unpack the sales, look at where this market's heading, check out those growth rates, the HEAGRs, and really figure out what's driving this.
It's surprisingly robust.
It really is. So let's get into it. Some of these numbers might just warm you up.
Ah, nice one.
All right, let's start big picture. The global snapshot. Back in 2021, this market was already valued at $930 million, almost $1 billion.
Yeah, $930.771 million to be
There.
precise. And what's really interesting is the trajectory from there. It's projected to clear $1.1 billion, $1,165 million by 2025.
Okay, so decent growth in just a few years.
And it doesn't stop.
Uh,
By 2033, the projection climbs impressively to over $1.8 billion. That's $1,825.1 million. Wow. Right. And this reflects a really solid overall compound annual growth rate, the CAGR, of nearly 5.8%, about 5.7772%, actually.
so almost 6% growth year on year globally. That's quite healthy for something like this.
It absolutely is. It shows there's a real sustained demand building up worldwide. It's not just a fad.
Okay, so we've got the global view. Now, this is where I think it gets really interesting. Now, let's zoom in. Where is this market, heating up the most? Which regions are really embracing the warm seat?
Yeah, the regional breakdown is key. And Asia Pacific, well, it really jumps out, not just for current value, but especially for its growth potential.
Leading the way.
Definitely in terms of future potential. So in 2021, Asia Pacific was about $200 million, $201.047 million.
Okay.
Projected to hit over $265 million by 2025. And then, get this, by 2033, it's expected to reach almost $470 million.
Yeah.
We're talking $467.231 million.
Yes, huge leap.
It is, and that region has a very high CAGR, over 7.3%, 7.315% to be exact.
And drilling down even further within Asia Pacific, I saw China's numbers were pretty striking.
Absolutely. China leads the regional growth rate with a CAGR of 7.812%. It goes from about $67 million in 2021 to a projected $167 million by 2033, more than doubling.
But India's growth rate caught my eye. It seemed even higher.
You picked up on a key point there. India has the highest overall CAGR mentioned in the entire report, a really remarkable 8.518%.
8.5%.
Yes. Starting smaller, around $24.6 million in 2021, but projected to surge to over $65 million, almost $66 million by 2033. That suggests some really dynamic changes happening in that market.
Wow. Okay. And other places in Asia Pacific, Japan, Korea.
Yep, Japan, South Korea, Australia, Singapore, Taiwan, and Southeast Asia. Generally, they all show what the report calls notable growth. Consistent expansion across the board there.
Okay, so Asia Pacific is clearly a hotspot, leading in future growth. How does North America stack up against that?
North America is more of a, let's say, large and steady contributor. It's already a bigger market in terms of current value, almost $360 million, $359.464 million back in 2021, growing to over $437 million by 2025, and then projected to reach over $644 million, $644.268 million by 2033.
Okay, so solid growth, but maybe not quite the explosive rate of parts of Asia. What about the U.S. specifically?
The U.S. is the lion's share, naturally. It was about $264 million in 2021, forecasted to hit over $456 million by 2033. That's a TAG of around 4.6%.
And Canada.
Canada's doing well, too.
Yeah.
Moving from nearly $67 million, $66.86 million, to over $126 million, $126.9 million by 2033. Its KGR is actually a bit higher than the U.S. at about 5.4%.
Interesting. But wasn't there a standout in North America?
Yeah.
Mexico, maybe?
Correct. It's expected to more than double its market, from about $28 million in 2021 to over $60 million by 2033.
Okay, so different dynamics at play even within North America. Now, Europe. Are Europeans big fans of heated toilet seats?
They seem to be warming up to it, you could say. Europe recorded almost $258 million, $257.8 million in 2021, and is projected to reach over $485 million by 2033. The overall KGR for Europe is steady, just under 5.4%, 5.381%.
Any particular countries leading the charge there?
Well, Spain stands out. It has a really impressive KGR, over 7.1%, growing from about $15 million to nearly $35 million by 2033.
Spain. Interesting. What about Russia?
Russia also shows strong growth, a KGR over 5.6%, expected to more than double from around $21 million to over $43 million.
And the big economies, UK, Germany, France.
All significant contributors.
Yeah.
The UK goes from about $43 million to $73 million. Germany from around $56 million up to nearly $100 million, $98.3 million. France about $37 million to $62 million. Italy roughly $25 million to $45 million. All showing solid growth.
So broad adoption across Europe, it seems.
Yes, and places like Denmark, Switzerland, and the rest of Europe are mentioned as having similarly promising figures, so it's quite widespread.
All right, let's shift focus a bit to some of the maybe traditionally considered emerging markets. South America, the Middle East, Africa. What's the picture there?
South America is definitely showing promise. The market there is growing from just over $48 million in 2021 to a projected $100 million by 2033. That's a regional CGR of over 6.2%.
And within South America, Brazil, I imagine.
Brazil leads, yes. Strong numbers there, a CGR of almost 7%, expanding from nearly $20 million to over $44 million by 2033. And others like Argentina, Colombia, Peru, Chile, they're all showing steady gains too.
Okay. How about the Middle East?
The Middle East is described as a rapidly developing niche. It grew from around $39 million in 2021 and is projected to more than double to over $80 million by 2033.
Who's leading there? Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia holds the largest share, yes, going from about $15 million to over $32 million with a CGR over 6.6%.
Any other standouts?
Qatar actually shows an even higher CGR, quite impressive at nearly 7.8%. And Turkey is also mentioned for strong growth rates. Seems like luxury and comfort are driving demand there.
Makes sense. Okay, finally, Africa.
Africa shows consistent, albeit smaller scale, growth, valued at just over $25 million in 2021, and expected to nearly double to over $47 million, $47.6 million by 2033.
Consistent growth across the continent.
Pretty much. Nigeria, South Africa, and the rest of Africa category all show CGRs ranging between about 4.2% and 5.3%. So the trend is definitely global, even if the scale varies.
Okay, so we've seen the numbers, the regions. It's growing pretty much everywhere, some places faster than others. But the big question is why? What's driving this? I mean, it seems, well, a bit surprising on the surface. Is it just about comfort, or is there more to it?
That's the crucial part, isn't it? And it seems to be a confluence of factors. If we connect it to the bigger picture, it really says something about shifting consumer values.
How so?
Well, the report points to three main drivers. First, simply rising living standards and disposable income, especially in those fast-growing regions like Asia-Pacific and parts of South America.
So people have more money, they want more comforts at home.
Exactly. It's moving beyond just the basics. People are investing more in their homes, turning utilitarian spaces like bathrooms into places of, well, personal comfort. Think about that growing middle class in India or China we mentioned.
Right, upgrading the home experience. What's the second driver?
Second is a much bigger focus globally on hygiene and personal well-being. This got a huge boost post-pandemic, obviously.
Okay.
People are just more conscious of cleanliness, but also comfort and wellness within their own homes. A heated seat fits into that narrative. It's seen as both more hygienic by some and definitely more comfortable. It elevates the experience.
And the third factor, you mentioned smart homes earlier.
Yes, that's the third piece. The whole smart home revolution. Bathrooms aren't being left out. Heated seats, especially those with extra features like bidets or dryers, are increasingly part of integrated smart bathroom solutions.
So it's not just a standalone gadget anymore.
Less and less so, especially in new builds or high-end renovations. It becomes part of the connected home ecosystem. This is particularly true in tech-forward places like South Korea or Japan, but the trend is spreading.
So it's rising incomes, a focus on hygiene and comfort, and the integration with smart home tech. That actually makes a lot of sense when you put it all together.
Right. It moves from being a simple creature comfort to something that aligns with broader lifestyle trends.
It really does. So wrapping this up, it's clear this isn't just some quirky product. The global toilet seat heater market is serious business, experiencing significant growth, with Asia-Pacific really looking like the powerhouse for future potential.
Absolutely. And this data-driven outlook, it really underscores the rising importance of this market. It offers some valuable insights, not just for manufacturers or investors in this specific space, but more broadly. Well, it shows how understanding these seemingly niche markets can actually reveal deeper shifts in global economic trends and consumer behavior. It's a window into evolving priorities, comfort, health, technology, playing out even in the most private spaces of our homes.
That's a great point. It really makes you think. Which actually leads to a final thought for you, our listener, to consider. What other seemingly small comforts or maybe niche products might be right on the edge of becoming huge multi-billion-dollar industries? What else reflects these deeper shifts in how we live and what we value globally? Something to mull over. Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're plunging into something maybe a bit overlooked, an everyday item that's actually got some pretty complex dynamics. We're talking about the toilet seat heater market. You probably don't think about it much, but it's quietly transforming.
Yeah, it really is.
How does something so, mundane become this hub for tech and changing tastes?
Well, that's exactly what we're trying to figure out in this deep dive. Our mission is really to cut through the noise of recent market intelligence. Find those key forces, the surprising ones maybe, and just give you a clear picture of what's shaping the future of this unique product. We want those aha moments.
Okay, let's unpack this then. I mean, we get it. It makes things more comfortable. Warmth is nice. But what's really driving the demand beyond just, not wanting a cold seat?
You've hit the core question. Warmth is obviously key, but the market forces are a bit more layered than that. First off, yes, there's rising demand in colder regions, but it's not just general comfort. It's about specific market penetration.
Okay, where specifically?
Think Northern Europe, parts of Canada, and especially East Asia.
Hmm.
Places where high-tech bathrooms are almost, well, culturally expected already.
Ah, so it's an easier sell there.
Exactly. Manufacturers see big sales spikes there, not just because it's cold, but because consumers are already sort of primed to invest in high-tech home stuff. A heated seat might even be seen as like a baseline expectation for modern comfort, almost non-negotiable, especially with all the new builds putting them in.
Right, so it's not just it's cold. It's
Yeah.
layering that basic need onto existing cultural and market readiness.
Okay, here's where I think it gets really interesting.
Hmm.
How does this simple product fit into the whole smart home revolution?
This is probably the biggest single accelerator right now. The push from smart home tech is significant. These aren't just simple heaters anymore. We're talking seats integrating with things like Zigbee or Wi-Fi, meaning
Right.
app controls, personalized user profiles, maybe even voice assistant compatibility. Hey Google, warm up the toilet.
Yeah. Some models are even getting predictive with proximity sensors. They learn your routine, heat the seat before you walk in,
Mhm.
optimizes energy, boosts convenience. It really positions the bathroom as an active, node in the whole smart home setup.
Wow, okay. That's definitely a leap from just basic warmth to, yeah, predictive comfort, thinking about
Hmm.
comfort. What about the more personal side, health, well-being?
Oh, absolutely. That's another major driver.
Yeah.
There's this growing focus on health, hygiene, and accessibility. A lot of these heated seats now come bundled with advanced bidet functions.
Right, the washlet style.
Exactly. Adjustable water pressure, self-cleaning nozzles, air drying, all that stuff. Plus, many use antimicrobial materials, ergonomic designs. It makes them really appealing for, say, multi-generational homes. For elderly users or people with mobility issues, maybe certain medical needs. This combination of warmth, cleansing, easy controls. It's not just comfort. It's a real boost to independence and daily hygiene. It becomes a wellness device, really.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. But, every market, especially one with this much tech, must face challenges. What's holding back wider adoption?
Well, the biggest immediate hurdle is still cost. The upfront cost and potentially installation.
Not just plug and play then.
Not always, especially the advanced ones. Premium models can run several $100s, even over $1,000 for the top smart versions. And if you need electrical work or plumbing adjustments for the bidet part,
Hmm.
well, that adds up. It puts off a lot of budget-conscious households. Many still see it as a luxury, not a necessity, so the decision takes longer.
And does that apply everywhere? Or are there places where it's like a particularly tough sell?
That's a really key point. Market penetration is significantly limited in money-developing countries. In regions where basic sanitation infrastructure is still, being built out, the focus is understandably on essentials. Clean water, working waste disposal.
Luxury upgrades aren't the priority.
Exactly. The purchasing power often isn't there for something seen as discretionary. Plus, the infrastructure needed for smart features or integrated plumbing might just be missing. It keeps the market pretty niche, mostly in affluent city centers.
Okay, so cost, regional development. What about something that touches almost every modern product now? Sustainability. Is energy use a concern?
Definitely. People are increasingly aware of energy consumption. Eco-conscious buyers, they look twice at something that needs continuous or standby power.
Even if it's small.
Yeah, even if the actual usage is low compared to, say, a big water heater. It's the perception of an always-on appliance in the bathroom, especially with energy costs rising globally. It can be a sticking point. Manufacturers are working on it, but it causes hesitation for sure among, eco-minded consumers.
Sounds like a tough landscape then. But you mentioned there are still key trends reshaping things despite these headwinds. What's working for them?
Right. Despite the challenges, innovation is definitely pushing back. We're seeing a really noticeable adoption of energy-efficient designs. And this isn't just like marketing talk. We're seeing things like highly responsive ceramic heaters that warm up almost instantly, cutting down standby power.
Ah, so it's not on all the time.
Not necessarily. Many use smart sensors, motion sensors, seat sensors, so they only heat when someone's actually approaching or sitting down. Plus, programmable timers, low-voltage systems, all aimed at slashing energy use while keeping the comfort.
Okay. That directly tackles the sustainability worry. And building on the smart home point from earlier, how deep does that integration actually go? What does it look like day to day?
This is where it gets really transformative, I think. The deeper smart home integration means these aren't just isolated gadgets anymore. They're part of a seamless automated home experience.
Like what? Give me an example.
Okay, so we're seeing models that can talk to your smart lights, maybe dim them when you enter the bathroom at night, or sync with your smart thermostat to optimize the room temperature overall. Some high-end ones even offer app-based diagnostics, maintenance alerts. The toilet seat basically becomes a connected appliance. It enhances the whole smart living vibe, making the home respond to you.
Okay, that's pretty integrated. And finally, it feels like this all connects to a bigger trend, doesn't it? Making homes more luxurious, more personalized, turning functional spaces into little sanctuaries.
Precisely. That's the third major trend pushing things along. There's been a huge surge in high-end bathroom renovations. People investing more in their personal spaces, especially since the pandemic. Heated seats, often with those bidets we talked about, they're moving beyond novelty. They're becoming almost a standard, expected feature in luxury homes and high-end hotels.
Spa-like features at home.
Exactly. That desire for personalized comfort for those little luxuries is really fueling demand, especially in the premium housing market. The bathroom is seen as part of like a holistic wellness space now.
So whether it's the simple need for comfort when it's cold, or the relentless march of smart tech, or this growing focus on personal wellness and luxury, it seems pretty clear this market is, well, heating up, quite literally.
Absolutely. This deep dive really shows how even the most basic things in our daily lives, things we assume are fixed, can be totally transformed. All it takes is some clever innovation and changing consumer wants. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other ordinary items around us are just waiting for that right mix of tech and desire to unlock some completely unexpected potential? Something to think about.